Uhedu jongkatan election po Meghalaya, the new chief electoral officer Oba Frederick Kharkongor, ula kubur bagiton shibun gijing penkenyi ki kendon persya COVID. Haga jengla election hakilai teli ki konstitusi ki balai cek election sitang samaj metakasnam. Kini ki jing penken ki long hampa morang keneng, hampa moflang bat kumjuru haraja bala konstitusi. Hakaba ki bak kebun kem simla buram setia ki kendon. Wala dan nakaliang jongka tanap penja election bat kumjuru ki bos sarkar kira penken ki kendon. Hagan di kejing lap election kam tam e akajing lum pai ba pakum juru kejing penya jenga iwei la ban i hang ni ba kini kilai tli keson si la iwe ki pai ba kila pen kenya ki kendon takaba babun ki jalang ki ki babun ba ki pai ba pat ki babun ki bon sikini ki jalang ki mde satia ki pradeng mas
trying to ensure that the COVID protocols are, they are adhered to, and in some cases, in quite a few cases, I mean, action has been taken also. The case about the JHDC chairman, where it was found that he had violated the timing, so he was given a restraining order and not allowed to campaign further. Similarly, there were also show cause notices issued to various candidates in various constituencies. I will not name them, but it is known that I'm sure cause notices have been issued. Apart from that, we've also had several meetings with political parties. Even the DCs have held meetings with the political parties. So I must make it clear that when we talk about COVID-19, it's not only limited to the elections, because the state government has State Disaster Management Authority, and at the district level you have the District Disaster Management Authority, for which COVID protocols are there. And if any violation is there, then the DCs also, who are the chairman of these various DDMAs, they are also empowered to take action for violation of the protocol. So accordingly, I have advised the DCs that those which are strictly election related may be treated from the point of view of the elections, and those that are COVID violation from the DDMA angle, then DCs should file FIRs. I mean, which is the rule. I mean, for example, if you and me are having a wedding which is beyond the prescribed protocol, then the magistrates will come and they will instruct. So even when it comes to any gathering, because an election is also a gathering, so the DC is empowered also to take action from the DDMA point of view that there's a violation of COVID protocol. So any place where there is a gathering, whether it's a marriage, whether it's an election, whether it's a rock festival or a sports festival, if there are violations in the crowd, then the DC has to act in his or her capacity as the chairman of the DDA, of the DDMA, of the District Disaster Management Authority. So I have advised the DCs that they are also empowered by the DDMA rules also, by the state government rules also, so that they should take necessary action. At the same time, we also were very keen to get the cooperation of political parties, but at the same time, we see that the general public tends to violate. I mean, whether it's marriages or funerals, if you go to any funeral now in any part of the city, you will find that the number of people attending the funeral is much more than the provided guidelines. If you go to any program or function or wedding, I don't think that the number of people are strictly adhering to it. But though we have tried, but it also depends on the right-thinking citizens and the people. We've also made it very clear to the people that it is for their own safety. It's an individual safety. Now all of you are here. You are wearing masks. I'm wearing a mask because we are right-thinking people. We are concerned about our own personal safety. So we are wearing masks. But so there is so much that we can do. But a lot also depends on the public, on the cooperation from the public, and also at the same time from the DDMA also they should they are empowered to take necessary action, not only from election point of view but from the DDMA point of view as well.
Kabilipat bekejing kelumar kebalami apa raja bala konstitusi pening kino kerjaan keseng kongres bekeseng NPP ubah Kharkongor ong manakaliang jongki board pulit kila kem sangut kibri gabang tih nak jingja makom juru nak liang jongki magistrate kila simhia ban pengklan jaga jing para hakati ke jaka rengkat du kerja tilang bagi board pulit.
Was on the spot. So it appears prima facie that the whole clash was basically a kind of political rivalry, it was a clash between the two supporters belonging to ANC and the NPP, and also this clash actually started at the end of the political campaign, which ended at 4 o'clock. And in the process of returning home, a group of people had marched in a procession via Rajabala. Via the Rajabala, Bazaar area to Gorodubi and Margumari, Pachkandi, and Nayagaon and Old Bhaitbari and Keradawa areas. So there was a written complaint which was received by the election agent of the NPP. There was an election complaint from the election agent of the NPP. It was received, and on the basis of that, a formal FIR was also filed, and also the magistrate in charge of the flying squad team also filed an FIR. So, as per the report, this group clash consisted of about 21 people, and most of whom sustained minor injuries, not any major injuries. And these 21 people who were involved in the clash belonged to both the NPP as well as the INC parties. So there was no report of any hospitalization. They just sustained minor injuries, and they were discharged after receiving the primary first aid. Then, as per the report that I received from the DO, 4 persons have been arrested in this connection, and also immediately the DC is also, in fact, imposed the Section 144 in that area. And in addition to that, there's a lot of patrolling that is on in that area. The OC of Fulbari and the SP and the SGPO are reviewing that situation very closely so that there are no further flare-ups. So as of now, the situation is under control. It appeared to be an unprovoked clash which just happened, and it was not premeditated or something. It was a spur of the moment clash, and it was quickly brought under control through these measures. I just mentioned that arrests of 4 persons have been made, FIRs have been filed, and also Section 144 has also been imposed in that area. So as of now, the situation is under control, and there are no further reports of any further violations. So I have asked the DC and the RO to keep strict vigil and to report to us about any further developments in this incident. In fact, at 4 o'clock today, I'm going to have a review meeting with both the deputy commissioners, East Khasi Hills as well as West Garo Hills, and from the police, also the chief police nodal officer will also be here. Will also be joining me in the VC, and also the SPs of both the districts will also be there. So we will take stock of not only this incident but also other security measures apart from other election reviews. So these are a few of the measures that are on in the context of the upcoming by-elections.
So, because this is one incident that has taken place, and at least you have been able to avert it, to avoid any further mishap, to ensure that no such more violence takes place, especially on Saturday, the polling day. What stringent measures or any further measures that are going to be taken place?
Yeah. So we have received 4 companies from the
CAPF.
Yeah, for CAPF. Four companies of the CAPF we have received from the center, and these will be effectively deployed at all the vulnerable locations. As per the initial vulnerability mapping that we had, about 29 vulnerable polling stations are there under Rajabala, and about 7 are there in Maurukning and 10 in Mauflang. So apart from these CAPF, there will also be the deployment of the state police and the home guard, and also in those areas where we cannot send CAPF, we will have webcasting. Direct telecast from the polling station, which is about 16 polling station. As per ECI guidelines, at least 10% of each constituency we should have webcasting. So, for example, in Maurukning, which has about 60 polling stations, so we have about 6 polling stations which are on webcasting, and the other 2 which are nearly about 50 polling stations each. We will be having 5 such polling stations under webcasting. Apart from that, micro observers are being deployed, videographers are being deployed, and we also have the sector officers, the zonal officers, and the flying squads will also be there to ensure that there is confidence in all the poll going constituencies. And in addition to that, we've also taken cognizance of some threats that have been made here in East Khasi Hills by some organizations, and from the district police, they will be deploying sections of CAPF for area domination, and also they will also have long range patrolling, what is known as LRP, long range patrolling in some vulnerable areas. And also at the same time, these will be deployed in both the constituencies, and also there will be round the clock surveillance at the residence and in around the movement areas of the contesting candidates. These are some, and apart from that, there will be 5 tactical teams or quick response teams, QRTs, which will be detailed in every constituency and placed at strategic locations for prompt reaction. So from the point of view of arrangements, all the security concerns have been factored into in both the districts where poll going constituencies, where the poll going constituencies are there. And apart from that, I'll be having a separate review, as I just mentioned, in an hour's time from now. So basically, all measures are being taken to to ensure that people can vote in a free and fair manner.